So the miner, it can wreck through entire push, but it can also do absolutely nothing. So I'm going to tell you how you can counter and use the miner most effectively. Hello everyone, my name is Shubing, and the miner is a very versatile troop. It can do a lot if it is not countered correctly, but it can also get wrecked by the enemy very quick if you don't use it right. So this video will explain it all. I talked to multiple top 300 pros about this, so don't worry, these will all be very useful tips. Please like and subscribe, and let's get started straight away. First, let's talk about how to use the miner in the first round. So you're going to place the miner one tile from the center column so that it can easily reach ranged enemies, because that is what you want the miner to target. Using the miner at the first round is great against Archer Queen and Royal Champion because those heroes are the ranged damage dealers, and if you get them out quickly, you could secure an easy win. But for other heroes, it kind of depends. Like for the Shield Maiden, they usually have Archer, so you can miner if there aren't any better options, but again, it really depends. Okay, after that, let's talk about the upgrade order. So at first, I always recommend going with the first star upgrade, the backstab, because that can give you so much more value if it's placed correctly, which I'll talk about that later. And then after that, you can either go for the second star or the third star. So if your opponent tries to counter it and the miner is having a hard time killing enemies, then I will go for the third one because the second one is a boast and it only activates when the miner kills somebody. On the other hand, if the opponent doesn't counter the miner well and they don't have a lot of money clumped up, I would definitely go for the second star first because you want that hit speed boost. The miner can go absolutely ham if you got that. But of course, upgrading the miner to 3 star is absolutely worth it. Well, the best means to upgrade to 3 stars, so go for it if you want to. Now about the placement, I can't really guide you through too much because it's all about the mind games and the decks, but I'll talk through some simple guidelines that you should follow about this. So about the horizontal row, if the enemy is not using any strategy to counter the miner at all, they're not using the K strategy, anything, then I would recommend placing it the first or second row to get it to the enemy as soon as possible. But this is only really viable at lower ladder where players don't really know how to use a K strategy, but otherwise I'll recommend going for the third or fourth row at the back, because at higher ladder, almost everyone knows about the K strategy. So I would place it a bit further so you can wait until the cage troop goes out. Now if you're totally confused here, you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what the cage is, wait till later in the video, I will explain it all. Okay, what about the vertical column? Now I will recommend placing it at the corner, because most people have their ranged troops at the corner, especially Archer Queen decks. So this is a high risk, high reward, but the reward is especially high if you have like the first target, the backstab. The reward would be amazing, so I would say definitely go for a corner. Just bet on which corner they're placed, because most people just have their ranged troops on the corner, so it's basically a 50% chance, so just bet for it. Another thing to mention is that the miner is great with the mirror tile, so that could be a good option to use. Now let's talk about some combinations that you can use with the miner. A great one is the Archer or the Prince, because you're going double backline there and it would be insane. You literally wipe out all the ranged units if they don't defend against it correctly. So yeah, that's a great strategy. You should definitely use it. Almost every pro uses this strategy, so it's really great. And if you're going with the Miner Prince combo, I would recommend placing them in different sides, because you want to target different corners of the map. So you're basically having a 100% chance that you'll take out the ranged unit. Again, if they don't defend it correctly. The miner is also great in Barbarian King decks or Monk decks, because those heroes are at the front line. It's all about the push, it's all about the consistent damage at front. So while the minis and the barbarian king goes to attack at the front, the miner could easily take out the damage dealers at the back. So it's like a frontline and backline strategy, and it's really great in this case. So if you have a Barb King deck, I would definitely use the miner to go alongside it. Okay, now let's talk about how to counter the miner. Because if your enemy miner has like a 3 stars, it could absolutely shred through your push. It could be devastating if you don't defend it correctly. One simple way is using the prince to charge to the miner. This because the prince can cancel the miner's clash ability, so this would be a very easy, simple way in dealing with the miner. But in most cases, people will protect the miner with something in front, so you can't really do this every time, especially in higher ladder. So one other suggestion I would use to defend the miner is the K strategy. Almost every pro player uses this, so it's really useful. So the melee troops you can use for this is the guard, the barbarian, the knight, the lumberjack, and if they have like a 3-star miner and it's destroying everything, you can even use the P.E.K.K.A. because you don't want your miner to get the 2nd-star ability, his boast ability, because after that he could be a madman. So you want to trap these melee troops by using range units. The range units won't move because they're ranged, right? They don't need to move to attack, so the melee troop literally just stays there, no one's making a way for him. Okay, let's rewind a bit. The range units won't move because they're ranged, right? See there? You can only use this if you're sure that the ranged troop won't move. Because for some major ranged troop, for example the wizard and the electro wizard, they will move if the range isn't long enough. So you want to make sure that your troop will not move, because if it does, it will just destroy this strategy. So make sure that your ranged troop will not move anywhere. So if you're just not sure about it, you're a bit scared about this, I would recommend just using some long range troops that will definitely not move in any case, like the archer and the magic archer. Okay, let's talk about a few variations of the K strategy. The first one is the absolute trap, so that the melee troop cannot move anywhere. So what you want to do is placing the melee troop at the back corner of the map, and then place ranged troops in front and beside the melee troop, so it cannot escape. This is an excellent way to defend against the counter decks with the miner. As you can see in this clip here, it could be very effective against the miner and the counters obviously. But if you're not facing against the counters, I would not use this technique, because if the miner goes to the other side, your guard would just be stuck there and it won't get any use. So only use this if you're playing against counter stacks with the miner. The second variation is by far the most popular one. It is the classic K strategy. So what you want to do is again place your melee troop at the back corner, and you want to place 2 ranged troops in front of the miner in the 3rd row, next to each other, so in like this formation. So this will not absolutely trap the guard like last time, but it would mean that the guard would need to move a few more steps to get to the front, and by the time that it does move a few steps, the miner will appear from the back and the guard will target the miner instead. So this is generally just a very good strategy against any hero decks, against any deck with the miner. So if your opponent has a miner and you're struggling against it, this would be a good move to have up your sleeve. The third one, this is interesting. I would call this the maze method, because it's like this foolproof method of not letting the miner get to anything. So what you want to do here is actually placing your guard 1 tile in front of the corner, and you want to wrap your ranged troops around it, 1 in front and 1 at the side. So what this would do is it will make the miner to go all the way to the back, all the way to the center, and go all the way back into the front to be able to attack frontline enemies. So this will absolutely guarantee that that your guard will target the miner. I will recommend this if last time you did the second strategy and it didn't work and your miner still got to attack ranged units without any defense from you. I will go for the third option here because this is an absolutely foolproof method. 99% of the time, if you use this correctly, the guard will target the miner because it just needs to walk so much to be able to get to your frontline enemies. It needs to walk a whole tile more. So if the last one didn't work, use this one, it will probably work. So this is it for this video. I hope this was useful for you guys, and if you've got any extra tips to use and counter the miner, please leave them in the comment section below. And let's say if we hit 20 likes on this, I'll do another video about how to use and counter another troop. Please tell me some suggestions in the comment section below. Also, be sure to check out the Discord server in the description below. It has lots of fun tournaments and lots of cool people. So this is it for me. Please like and subscribe. My name is Xiuming, and peace out.